Hey, what's up? This is Dan Schwartz with the 80/20 Investor Academy. Welcome back to the channel. If you are a real estate investor, you're flipping, doing wholesaling, buying and holding, whatever your exit strategy is, if you want to double your deal flow, there's only two ways to do it. You double your marketing or you double your conversion of those leads that come in. It is vital to understand the math of how your sales pipeline works. And on this excerpt that I'm going to play from a training we did called the Lead Pipeline Maximizer, you're going to understand how exactly every single lead has value and every stage of the lead has a different value, and how understanding this and getting your team to understand this is going to dramatically improve the conversion of your follow-ups, of your sales calls, of your contact rates, because it's going to allow you to actually dissect each moving part of your pipeline, and you'll realize that there's little tweaks you can make inside of your sales pipeline that will have big effects in the long run. If you do like this content, make sure to like this video, leave a comment, let me know what you loved about it, share it with a friend, but most of all, subscribe to the channel because we're going to be releasing these videos consistently. And I hope you enjoy this. If you want to have a conversation with one of our 80/20 coaches, then go to join8020.com. We can have a little quick call to see if you'd be a great fit for our program. We serve active real estate investors who are at six figures and they need to get to seven through systems, processes, hiring, strategy, and a really tight-knit group of investors that they can all lean on for tools, recommendations, wins, and shares. And it's called the 80/20 Investor Academy. But until then, enjoy this video on the Lead Pipeline Maximizer, and I'll see you guys in the next video. All right, the second key principle of the Lead Pipeline Maximizer is to value every lead that you get. To value every lead. Like I said before, following up can be a thankless task. You might see a list of leads and just see a bunch of work to do instead of money. The successful 80/20 investors see a list of leads, and each one of those leads has a potential value added to it, which lights a fire under you to make sure that you're taking care of that lead. So if we scroll down to the sheet, you'll see it's called the Lead Pipeline Valuator. More or less, this is the flow of leads across the board, whether you're doing cold calling or PPC or getting referrals from other wholesalers. This is the flow that kind of is how it's going to look across the board. If we think about the quote, music is the space between the notes, right? So the pauses and breaks in between the notes is the music. Well, all of these things here are the notes, all right? And so we need to get clear what the notes are so we can make music in between and make sure that leads are actually passing through from one phase to the next. And so it starts off with new and uncontacted leads. Then you contact the leads and find out if they're qualified. Then you book an appointment, which is a note. Then you receive an offer that could be on the appointment. And then you get the contract, and then you get it closed. Sure, there's a lot of little things that happen in between, but these are kind of the main events that happen in the pipeline. If you do some quick math here, then you'll start to kind of look at your pipeline a little bit differently. So let's see, I'm gonna call someone up. Ken Wozniak, are you free right now? Who would like to share what an average profit per deal is that they have right now? Y'all still here?
$20,000 here. I just closed the deal yesterday.
Yeah.
So we're averaging about 20.
Sweet. Okay. 20K. Eric B, of all of the contracts your clients get, how many end up closing? How many fall through? Is it like 80%, 90%?
About 90% close from contract to close.
Awesome. So in this little circle here, we'll put 90%. So if we do the math, then every contract you get is going to be worth, what is that math? 22 20,000 divided by, or times 0.9 is 18,000, all right? I see the math, you just do 20,000 times 0.9, which means that every contract that comes in is worth potentially $18,000, assuming that 1 out of every 10 falls through. You with me so far? Okay, so that means that what happens right before the contract, you got to get an offer. Of all of the appointments and offers that you submit, Eric B., how many do you think end up turning into contracts? And obviously this can range based on your negotiation skills and what your strategy is, but what's a good?
In our office, it's 33% of our appointments do we get contracts.
Yep. So then we do 18,000 times 0.33333. Means that every offer we make is worth $6,000 to you. All right. Of all of the sales appointments that you book, how many actually get a qualified offer? And these can be phone conversations or in-person appointments.
90, almost all.
Cool. And show up to the appointment.
Yeah.
Okay. Factor that into your calculations, because if you book 10 appointments, how many actually are going to show up and get the offer? It's usually not 100%. And we're going to talk about some strategies to make it 100%. 90%, okay? So 6,000 times 0.9 is 5,400. Awesome. So every time your lead manager sets an appointment, he just made you $5,400. And then contacted leads to qualified. So of all your qualified leads, how many actually turn into a appointment booked, Eric?
It's 25%.
Okay. Cool. Times 0.25 is 1,350. And then from your raw data list of all of those leads, how many actually do you end up contacting and qualifying?
10%.
How much? 10%?
10%.
Yeah. Do you guys agree with these numbers? This is kind of standard across the board? Steven, do you see anything different from your clients? Just let me know. But if that's the case, then every single uncontacted lead is worth $135. You know, that's enough to feed you and your family every single day.
So for me, I first did this math years ago, and it helped me as a sales manager really kind of break through some of the mental barriers of like, is this appointment worth it? Or, you know, if you get down on sales, what happens is like you start disqualifying leads or not before you give it a chance. You know, you just kind of like predetermine the outcome. And that's a mindset, frankly. And so if you're going on a lot of appointments and you don't close that one, and it took so many hours, and you come back to the office and you're like, God, dude, what a waste of time. God, you know, like I can't keep doing that. Right? And you kind of get into these self-defeating loops. And that happens, you know, to anybody in sales. Sales is a mind game. And so when it starts going down, it's hard to really pick back up out of that. And so the game that I played with myself was exactly this. I had to remind myself that every time I went on an appointment, that I was making $5,000 to $6,000 based on my average, right? So instead of like kind of like resenting some of the appointments that I would go on that didn't get the result that I wanted, I always put those in the win category, because that was part of the process. I started celebrating the work that it took to get the result, which was having as good of appointments as I possibly could. Focus on the appointment as good as you can, and you're going to make the money. So anyways, this was a big mindset breakthrough for me, doing this type of calculations.
Yep. It helps you look at your pipeline as a pipeline, right? You have to do the average of all of the math, okay? When you see each stage of your lead this way, how do you think this is going to impact your operation? If you show this to your team, how do you think it's going to impact your team? do you think that you're going to care a little bit more about follow-up or getting a hold of someone if it makes you $1,300 each time you get a hold of somebody? Of course it will. So the first thing that we need to do is just really value every lead. Some people are asking just about that 10%. So of the new and uncontacted lead, let's say we have 100 addresses that you're driving for dollars Bird Dog found of just vacant looking houses. Of those 100 addresses, 10 of those will turn into a lead. And remember what a lead is it's something that is an owner wants to sell or is asking for an offer, which means that it's going to be hot, warm, or cold, pretty much. So of the 100 addresses of vacant houses, 10 of them, once you make contact with them, are going to be in the hot, warm, or cold category. Does that make sense? Sweet. Awesome. So value every lead. Do this exercise. If you're making 60K per deal, like, you'll see how the numbers change. The other thing to understand here is that, let's say we can get this number to 15%.
Exactly. Big
How do those little tweaks affect the bottom line down here? I don't have the patience to do the math, but it's going to create a lot more money.
It's huge.
But it's huge. Exactly. Another big thing is, of the leads that you make contact with and qualify, how many are actually getting booked an appointment. This is where follow-up can magically increase this to maybe 50% over time. That's going to double your results downline.
Yep.
Okay, so these little tweaks that we're talking about, patching the leaks, matter.